Hello and welcome. Tonight would have been a night we would have crowned the 2020 Betfred World Snooker Champion. Fingers crossed, if the government advice allows, the crucible will be on at the end of July. Will Judd retain his title? Could Mark Selby add a fourth world crown? Or could the class of 92 add to their multiple hauls? Hopefully, we'll all find out at the end of July. But what is it like to actually lift the famous trophy?
When it disappeared into the pocket, it's hard to describe the feeling. And I mean, I was stamping the cue on the ground. Oh, I raised the cue above my head, but I was stamping the cue as well on the ground. I just didn't know what to do.
But you can see when you watch it back, you see the look on my face. I didn't have a clue what to do after that. I hadn't thought about what to do next. And then I obviously had to pot another ball, and then another one and another one. And you can say, I look back now and think, you should have really enjoyed that a bit more. There wasn't, I didn't crack a smile. I was just too, I was overcome. It was too much for me to cope with. Now I'd be giving it the fist now. I'd be giving it the come on and jumping around the table. But, back then I didn't know the ropes. I didn't know how to celebrate victory.
I was absolutely buzzing. I was again, I had to pot the last red and the colours up to the blue. And when I came around to pot the blue, I'm bang on the blue and the big chair. I just knew then. And I saw Tony Drago. He's sitting in the press box right behind you there, and he was clapping like that. He had a big smile on his face. He was so happy for me. And that's when I smiled and looked up to my friends up in the balcony, and potted the blue and the pink, and it was all over then. And I gave Stephen a hug and was just wanted to just get my hands on that trophy. It was fantastic.
I think now, when you think about it, I think back then you think it would happen again and again and again. That's what I was maybe thinking, and it maybe didn't mean as much as I'm sitting talking to you right now about it. I'm just looking over above me. It's the picture of when I did win it. It's incredible. It really is incredible that all the years and all the hours, and you put the hard graft in, and then it comes down to that final night, and then for you to be standing there with the trophy. I always remembered all the other great champions lifting it, and when they lifted it up, they always seemed the little bulbs and the little bright lights they were lifting the trophy up to. And then I can just remember looking up and seeing the same bulbs that people like Steve Davis and Alex Higgins and Stephen Hendry have lifted it up as well. And then for you to be one of them, it's hard to describe. It really is.
It took me 6 months to really take it in. I used to, I'd stay in my mother's house there in Ranelagh in Dublin, and she'd be shining the cup every morning. It used to sit on our television in the front room, and people would be knocking on the door. Can we come in and get a picture? Yeah, come on in, do you want a cup of tea? And every morning I'd get up, I'd come down the stairs, I'd go into the living room before I get down for breakfast. I'd pick it up, give it a big kiss, and put it back on the TV. And for 6 months, I was at the opening of an envelope with that cup everywhere.
I remember a few days later having a dream that I'd got to the final and not won the championship. And I remember waking from the dream, being very disappointed, because I felt as if I'd imagined the whole last few days. I got a drink from the kitchen and came through the lounge, and there was the trophy. It took a long time for it to sink in what winning the world championship means. Everyone thinks they know you, so you went from complete anonymity to being known by a lot of people. That took some getting used to. That was very, very strange.
Yeah, I think at the time you don't realise how big it is, but looking back and looking at, like you say, at the history of the game, growing up as a kid, always wanted to be world champion, world number one, to finally do it sort of out of the blue, say 20 years as a pro, say to lift that trophy as same as all the other great players in the game, it's unbelievable feeling.
Well, it's something when you turn professional you dream about. That's your ambition, is to become world champion. I think every player is the same. There's not that many that get to have their name on that trophy. But the lovely thing about it is when you travel the world and you're introduced at all the different tournaments, and the MC says, would you please welcome the reigning world snooker champion? And that is something that is just, you never get fed up of listening to that.
I mean, it means everything. All them blood, sweat and tears, what you've put in over the years on the table, all them sacrifices you've made when you're 18, 19, all your friends are going in town, clubbing, asking you to go, and you've got a tournament the following weekend and you're sort of telling them, no, you're just going to stay in because you know you want to get up early the next day to practice.
Amazing memories. I think that's what keeps me going now. Just the thought of how special it actually was winning it. You can always sort of dream of what's going to happen, but that feeling that I had when I was potting the winning balls is like no other feeling I've ever experienced in snooker. So it's something that's going to spur me on every single year.
And you can see that programme with all the world champions at 7 o'clock tonight on our YouTube and Facebook channels. I'll be back tomorrow with our final roundup and what would have been the day after the Betfred World Snooker Championships. But if you are missing the snooker, even if it's not this July, we will be back at the Crucible. Stay in and stay safe.